About a year ago, I was sleeping over my grandma's house and I couldn't fall asleep. I was up all night because I felt so burnt out to my core. I just knew that a lot of things in my life needed to change, but I didn't know how to change them or honestly even what I wanted. But a year later, my life looks completely different. And I want to share that with you in case it can spark something in you if you feel like you need to make a change too. But I think that the first step in figuring out how to get to where you want to be is figuring out where is it that you want to be and getting very specific about that. So my problem was what I was doing for a living wasn't bringing me joy anymore. I'm in my 30s, and I think that a lot of millennials are having this same kind of thing career-wise, where we work really hard to get somewhere and we believe that this will gain us stability or a certain level of financial success or things, and that's not always the case. And when that happens, it's very easy to just go, oh no, like what did I do? But sometimes we just need to pivot. And what's beyond the fear of making change and beyond that comfort zone, and once we step out of that, is everything that we've wanted. So I stayed up all night that night at my grandma's house, and it might sound silly, but my first step was figuring out what brought me joy now. Not what people saw that I was good at or wanted for me, but what brought me joy now at this point in my life. So I made that list. I also thought about things that used to bring me joy as a kid. Creating not for the product, but creating for creating's sake. Working in the music industry, I love making music. I could do that every day of my life. But it's hard when you get to a certain level of it to keep it protected and not around what is commercial, what is XYZ, what people want, and keeping that part sacred. And what I found from having that really honest reflection is that I want to be a creator. And that's what it is at its core. But in order for me to get there, I needed to get over my fear of being seen. I think that sometimes we can have dreams that we're a little bit too scared to say out loud, or dreams or goals. I think that the only difference between a goal and a dream is a plan. Okay? That's it. I think that sometimes we can have these things that we feel too scared to say out loud. So for me, it's being a singer and being a creator. I thought it was so silly to say that out loud, so I made a career around helping other people do that. And while that's amazing, it was not what I truly wanted. And in turn, I was just like constantly kind of betraying myself a little bit and constantly investing in other people's dreams and ignoring my own. So I went through the things that I do now, all the career things, all of the current goals that I had. And I was like, okay, what aligns with these things that bring me joy and what does not? And even if these other things were cool and they would be nice accomplishments, I need to let them go for now. They're not serving who I ultimately want to be. I not only picked the things, that bring me joy, but I thought about the lifestyle, because I worked in an industry where health, wellness, these kind of things are kind of out the window. And it's like, if you want to make it, you got to grind and blah, 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 blah. And y'all, I did years of that, but my nervous system is tired and I don't want that anymore. That is not a measurement of success to me, how many days in a row I can stay up without sleeping because I want this so bad. No. My dream is a regulated nervous system and joy and creating and building community and all these things. Okay, I don't want to digress. Okay. So after that whole conversation, I came to the realization that it's not about working harder or trying to do these things. It's about finding the things that align. If things don't align, they got to get out of there. So I made a plan. The way that I like to work any goal that I have is start with the big thing. The hardest part is figuring out what the big goal is. So for me, to find that out, I thought about what my life would look like in 5 years if I wasn't scared of anything. And for me, that was living in Spain, living in Barcelona, working online, and building community around my creativity and being able to support myself well as a creative off of that. Now, that can mean a lot of different things, right? But I knew that in order to get there, I would need to, one, plant a lot of seeds. In the creator economy and all of that, and even in the music industry where I've had my success thus far, I've learned that it's so important to have different streams of revenue. If you try to say, oh, I'm only going to do this one thing, and then that one thing slows down. So for me, that was vocal production. And I gained a lot of success in vocal production. But there are seasons when that's slow. And if you have one means of income and that slows down, what do you do? So that's not good. So I wanted to have multiple streams of income so that I never have to worry about that again. And I wanted things that were under my control, not when someone hired me, but things that I could make and facilitate that. Okay. So, but I knew that in order to get to my big goal, that I needed to fix my health. Because at that point, my health was messing with me so much. When our body gives us signals that something is wrong and we don't listen, sometimes it'll start yelling. And that's what happened with me. Long story short, just to tell you what happened, was I had chronic SIBO, candida overgrowth, fungal overgrowth, and some parasites. And I fixed it all holistically this year. It took me 10 months, but that's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And with the gut healing, I needed to regulate my nervous system because I was so stuck in a chronic place of fight or flight that it felt like I couldn't breathe a lot. Like I had grown this baseline anxiety that everything, it just like felt like things would like fall apart. And I think that part of me knew that some of that was tied to my gut health, because when I would have a gut flare, my anxiety, my emotions, everything would just go wah. And I felt a little helpless a little bit, to be honest with you. I knew that in order to achieve what I want to achieve, I would need my full brain and my nervous system to be regulated. And so I took the last 10 months to do that. And I will say that after 13 years of not eating gluten and being the girl who had to order something special all the time and bring her own food everywhere, and I now can eat gluten again because I healed my gut. And if you're interested in that, I'll make another video about that because I documented the whole process. So for me, step one was my health. Healing my body and my mind so that I could achieve what I wanted to achieve. It was hard, but it's worth it. It's very, very worth it. Do you guys like my light? Is it good or is it bad? I don't know. Okay. The next thing that I learned was build it first, make it good later. I am definitely a victim of procrastinating. I will make things and be like, oh my goodness, I need to plan. And I'll make a Notion or whatever and make mind maps and all these things instead of just starting to execute. I want to think of all of the details first. I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned this year was make it exist first, then make it good later. Because you're not going to know what you don't know until you begin. For example, I hosted my first vocal production retreat this year. So we went to Tulum and I taught a bunch of people vocal production. It was so cool. But it was my first one and I learned a lot. Did a lot of planning, but learned a lot that I'll do differently next time. There is no way for me to know those things beforehand. Another thing, I'm building a game and I'm really excited that it will release around March of this year. I never thought that I could be a developer or an inventor, but with my healed gut and nervous system, it's like made way for me to do new things. Anyway, point is, it's the make it exist first, make it good later. And even this YouTube channel, this is all just me learning. And my vlogs, by Building My Dream Life series, have helped me so much this year, y'all. So I didn't know that I had a fear of being seen. I'm on the internet. I've been a performer for most of my life. And if you met me, you would think, oh, she's very extroverted. But actually, at the time, I was super, super introverted. And it took a lot for me to go and put it on and I always would show up in a certain way, wanting to be polished, wanting to have my makeup done or my hair done. One of the things in my plan this year was to vlog the process of me building my dream life because I knew that I was going to make a lot of big changes in my life this year and I wanted to document that. But if I was vlogging everything, that meant it's just going to be who I am in my pajamas, in my bonnet, no makeup most of the time. And I think that as the vlogs go on, it's not that I didn't love myself before, but I think that you can start to love yourself more. It's loving the parts of you that aren't polished or aren't ready for XYZ. And I think that that's really, really important. And with the nervous system work too, I'll make a whole video about my nervous system work that I did because that's changed my life a lot. The vlogs helped me get over myself, honestly, and get over my fear of being seen. And that ties into my other goals. So me wanting to create community, release music, build a community around it, be a singer, and me not being able to even say that I want to do that out loud was a fear of being seen more than anything else. And I think that we can get in our own way more than most things. So if you're interested in vlogging or anything like that, I really encourage you to. My vlogs don't even get a lot of views. I hope that that changes this year. I really pray that it does because I love making videos on YouTube. But I love them and they've been a really big tool for me. Getting over my fear of being seen, healing my gut, healing my nervous system. I can show up in ways that I didn't before. Even the tone of my content is way different. I think that when I started my vlogs, in the middle, the editing was very because my brain was like that. And now I feel like I can make much more peaceful content. I don't know. I'll still be myself all the time, but I have a healed nervous system now. And we love that! Obviously, we're always healing, but it's much, much, much better than it was. The next thing that I learned this year is that you need to take the leap. You can do all of the planning and the pre-pro, but at the end of the day, I don't think anything's ever going to take away the fact that some of these things are just scary to do. So one of the things that I did was I moved out of my LA apartment, and I don't have an apartment anymore, and I am moving to Spain in February. Leaving my apartment in LA, where I had built most of my career, I had community, all these things, to go and move to a city where I have like a friend that I made from just going out alone and doing things that I love. This, as you look at it, it's a little crazy, but I feel so much peace around it because I just feel like it's right. I'm finally following what brings me joy now, and I will continue to do so. It's important to remember that small steps add up, and that every day, as long as you are taking small steps towards it, I believe that we can achieve anything that we want to. Maybe I'm a little too confident and cocky, but I believe it. I believe we can do anything that we set our minds to. You got this. I got this. We got this. And guys, I'm going to get fluent in Spanish. Just wait. Wait till I'm in Spain and being a Spanish lady. Do I know how the rest of things are going to work out? No. But I have faith. And I know that I have the tools to make it work. I just have this faith in myself and in God. And I am so grateful to be in such a different place this year than I was last. Y'all, this was the first time I've come home in so long and actually been able to enjoy Christmas dinner or like food normally. It's crazy. Normally everything is like, ugh, I have so many food allergies, but I got rid of my food allergies. If you're looking to make a change in your life, let this be your sign of some encouragement. The situation is never going to be perfect to take a leap, but I don't want to live a life where I look back and I always say, I wish I did that. So if you're trying to make a change, let me know what you're doing in the comments or what you would love to do. And let's keep building community around that. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year. We can do this.